My name is Anne-Marie Meadows, and for those of you who have been to the awards before, you will recognize me. I've emceed for a couple of years now and always very honored to do so. We will get started because we have some really great speakers to listen to. We've got some great Q&A, and you'll get to find out more about our award recipients and our volunteer award recipients. But first of all, before we want to start, I want to acknowledge the Indigenous peoples of the lands that we are on today. And this is a virtual platform that's bringing us all together from right across the country. But the RISE office is located in Toronto. It's where they do the great work that we are celebrating today. It's also the traditional territory of many nations who I believe have infused that space with caring, nurturing, and resilience, some of which we are highlighting today. Those nations include the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Anishinaabe, the Chippewa, the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat peoples. Toronto is home to many diverse First Nations, Inuit, and Métis peoples, and we acknowledge that Toronto is covered by Treaty 13 with the Mississaugas of the Credit. And for those of us who are settlers on this land, we ask that we take time to reflect on our role and relationship with all Indigenous peoples in hope that we can work together for a better and equitable future. So RISE is an organization that I enjoy working with for many reasons. I love stories and I love people's stories. I love hearing about resilience, perseverance, and successes. I also am the daughter of two entrepreneurs. I don't have the same spirit, but I have great respect for it. And I also have several family members who have either been empowered by or have struggled through their mental health issues. And unique in Canada, RISE as an organization is dedicated to empowering individuals with mental health and addictions challenges, and they do so through entrepreneurship. How do they do it? They do it through flexible financing, no-cost training programs, mentorship, and other custom supports, which you'll hear more about today. RISE helps people like our award winners develop the skills and access the capital that they need to start a small business, one that can accommodate their needs, improve their quality of life, improve the communities that they live in and serve, and enable them to support themselves and their families. I have a couple of quick notes just before we get started. We are recording this event. Most of you are aware of that by now, and it's going to be posted on the RISE YouTube channel in the coming days. So if you have somebody who couldn't be here, but you really wanted them to see what happened here today, they'll be able to do that on YouTube. And for those of you who are on social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, or LinkedIn, we would encourage you to post your impressions of today's event and tag it with @RiseHelps. Soon we're going to hear from Chair of the Board and the COO and the interim CEO of RISE. And then we're going to announce the awards, followed by a panel discussion with our recipients, which is always my favorite part of this afternoon. No offense to anybody who's not an award recipient, but it is my pleasure now to introduce you to the board chair, Philippe Savoy.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Anne-Marie. So on behalf of RISE Board of Directors, I'm honored to welcome you to our 15th annual ceremony award. This is my third, and I can't be more happy than today. I'm pleased to introduce myself as the new board chair. So I joined RISE in 2021, really motivated by my personal experience. I have two daughters that struggle with mental health, and I truly believe that mental health is one of our most significant social, political, and economic issues of our time. I'm very proud to be part of an organization dedicated to finding real solutions that have a tangible impact on people's lives and society more broadly. A critical aspect of our work is showcasing entrepreneurs who prove that mental health and addiction challenges do not have to be a barrier to building a business. You'll witness that powerful truth here today. I would be remiss not to mention that today is Giving Tuesday. I'm honored to share that the Board of Directors has committed to matching all donations to RISE this holiday season up to $50,000. Go aboard. That means your gift will be doubled and RISE can contribute to grow its impact to more entrepreneurs, so that more entrepreneurs can access the support they need to succeed. In RISE's recent social inclusion survey, clients reported meaningful improvement to their personal, professional, and financial well-being. For example, 83% of our clients reported business growth over the past 12 months. 75% of our clients said their personal income either increased or stayed the same. 3 in 4 told us they now feel a greater sense of purpose in their life's direction. That's something to celebrate, which is what we're here to do today. I'd really like to thank my fellow board members for their steadfast dedication. That includes Lori Spadoccia, who served Rise as a visionary chair over the last 4 years. Thank you so much, Lori. I only have 5 pictures up here. Thank you to everyone here today, whether you are a client, a staff, volunteer, a partner, or a supporter. We couldn't do it without you. So I'm pleased right now to turn it over to our fantastic Rise CEO and our fantastic Rise COO and interim CEO, Beth Day.
Thank you, Philippe. Lots of letters behind my name these days. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for being here. I can't wait for you to meet our award recipients. They're a remarkably talented and inspiring group with diverse and unique perspectives to share with you. And you'll see that each of them came to Rise at a different stage of their personal and entrepreneurial journey. And that's a case for all our clients, whether they're just forming a business idea, ready to launch, or have a few years under their belts. It's our job to meet them where they are with relevant support. And that means increasing the breadth and the depth of our work, a goal that we committed to in our last 3-year strategic plan and one that we achieved with resounding success. For example, in the last 3 fiscal years, we've more than doubled our client reach, we've added new and bilingual programs, and we've increased our proportion of diverse clients. We also undertook critical work to improve our operational capacity, strengthening our foundation for the next growth phase. And this next growth phase includes tripling our lending capacity to grow to 300 loans per year by 2029. So let me illustrate this for you. In our first 5 years of operation, we issued 100 loans total. In the next 10 years, we issued 800 loans. And over the next 5 years, we'll issue over 1,000 more loans. So that is huge growth, but we can do it. To finance this growth, we plan to raise $4 million in new loan capital. And we will do that through a combination of traditional philanthropy and something new and exciting for Rise, which is impact investment. We're pleased to report that we're currently working with several of Canada's top foundations that invest their assets in social impact initiatives, which is exactly where Rise sits. And just last week, our first investment was confirmed. Smiley face emojis, thank you. Great things are on the horizon for Rise, and we appreciate you all supporting these ambitious goals. So I would like to recognize today's award sponsors, Bell Let's Talk and Scotiabank. Thank you for your ongoing support of this important celebration. And I'd like to thank all of you, our clients, volunteers, partners, donors, and staff. Your individual contributions have a tremendous collective impact. We could not be more grateful. And last, but of course not least, I'd like to thank Anne-Marie for being our MC today. She was being very modest when she said she's done this for a couple of years. This is her 6th consecutive year hosting this event, something she does skillfully and with the empathy that is so important in our world. So thank you, Anne-Marie. It simply wouldn't be the same without you. And with that, I will hand it back to Anne-Marie to announce our award recipients.
Oh, that is very kind, Beth. It is always my honor. So thank you. And thank you to Philippe as well. Listen, that was very exciting to hear. 1,000 more loans is incredible. And when you meet our award recipients today, imagine that number, 1,000 people receiving loans to be able to do what our 3 award recipients are doing today. It is remarkable. It's a great goal, and I'm excited for you guys all to reach it. For people who might be new, who haven't done this 6 times, the Rotman Family Entrepreneurship Awards are given out annually to celebrate the outstanding entrepreneurial achievements of the individuals whom Rise has supported through its lending and training programs. Each client award recipient receives a $1,000 prize, which is very exciting because it will always be put to such good use, as we'll hear a little bit later. We also today honor our Volunteer of the Year and a Community Champion. And again, this program doesn't work unless all the pieces come together, and those are 2 very important pieces. Our first award is the Rotman Family Entrepreneur of the Year, and it is awarded to, some of you have seen his handle, the Poop Valet, Rick Couchman. After experiencing a debilitating mental health challenges that impacted his ability to work over a decade, Rick then turned to entrepreneurship as a more flexible way to re-enter the workforce, and boy, did he ever. He was inspired by, you might meet Murphy a little bit later, and by their family's beloved dog, one of which is Murphy. Rick and his wife Sherry identified a gap in their local community for pet waste removal services. Brilliant. I imagine they were out one day walking the dogs and all of a sudden thought, Anyway, soon after, the Poop Valet was born. What began as just a part-time venture has quickly expanded into a thriving full-time role for Rick, with additional support from Sherry and 2 part-time employees. They are growing and thriving. As we know, there's a lot of dogs and a lot of poop that comes with that. As the website reads, it's the best pooper scooper service in Kitchener, Waterloo, Cambridge, Guelph, and Ayr, Ontario. So please join me in congratulating the 2024 Rotman Family Entrepreneur of the Year, Rick Couchman. Rick, congratulations.
Thank you so much. So much. This is awesome.
Can I tell you really quick, a quick story that Rick just said to me when he was telling me about another dog that they had who was a 150-pound Newfoundlander. And I said, man, that is some big poop. And like any good entrepreneur, he said to me, yeah, but when they're bigger, they're easier to clean. I love your outlook, Rick. And we're going to hear more from you in a little bit. So congratulations. Our next honor is the Dr. Paul Garfinkel Resilience Award, and that is presented to Emily Cole. Just a month before she was due with her first child, Emily Cole's husband was involved in a life-altering head-on collision, and in short order, her life changed completely as she became a caregiver to her husband and a new mother to their son. And Emily told us earlier that she went in with these hopes and dreams of being a newlywed and went from being a newlywed to a new caregiver and a new mom all at the same time. This experience turned Emily's life upside down, but she also credits it with giving her the strength and resilience to pursue entrepreneurship. Emily founded Meadows Baby and Kids after moving to Picton, Ontario, and realized the lack of options for children's clothes and other necessities at a price point that was accessible for everybody. She sells new and pre-loved kids items, ensuring that people of all economic backgrounds can clothe their kids without leaving their community. So please join me in congratulating the 2024 Dr. Paul Garfinkel Resilience Award recipient, Emily Cole. Congratulations, Emily.
Thank you so much. It's an honor to be recognized. It's a tough award to be recognized for, but I couldn't be more honored by it.
Oh, Emily, I'm so excited for everybody to meet you and hear more of your story a little bit later. I want to get to our third award recipient. This year's Bell Let's Talk Startup Award recipient is Melissa Bradshaw. And Melissa's entrepreneurial journey began with her own search for natural hair care products that are suited to her hair texture and type. She was shocked at how few vegan hair care products were formulated for curly and coiled hair textures. And the few products that were out there, they existed in the United States, meaning they were often subject to high shipping fees and duties, or they were just too difficult to get altogether. So with this kind of insight, again, seeing a problem, finding a solution, Melissa, who lives in BC, in Vancouver, developed her own vegan hair care line using tropical plant-based ingredients for curly, kinky, and chemically treated hair. Early this year, Montego Brown Hair Care officially launched to help people embrace their hair texture with confidence and joy. So please join me in congratulating the 2024 Bell Let's Talk Startup Award recipient, Melissa Bradshaw. Congratulations, Melissa.
Thank you so much. I'm glad to be here. Thank you.
Great to meet you, and I'm looking forward to hearing more of your story a little bit later. We also want to take a moment to celebrate our incredible volunteer who makes Rise's work possible. The Scotiabank Volunteer of the Year Award goes to someone whose dedication to Rise's mission and contributions to individual client success are the very definition of exemplary service. Prince Khan began his career more than 10 years ago working at a small business, an experience he has translated into helping others on their own entrepreneurial journeys. And currently, he works as a space supervisor at the Brampton Entrepreneur Center and as an instructor at the University of Guelph-Humber. From his home in Georgetown, Prince set a goal this year to help as many people as possible. Listen, Prince, I wish more people would set this goal. Help as many people as possible, and he has certainly delivered. As a Rise volunteer mentor, Prince has provided invaluable support to his mentee, and this is what she had to say about Prince. Prince's work has not only helped my business succeed, but it has strengthened the community and furthered the mission of Rise. Please join me in congratulating the 2024 Scotiabank Volunteer of the Year, Prince Khan.
Thank you, Anne-Marie. Thank you, everybody. Humbled to be here.
I know, look at your big smile. You're happy to receive this award too, and it is well earned. So thanks, Prince. Congratulations.
Much.
Finally, I'm pleased to present the Dave Richardson Champion Award, introduced to honor one or more community members who are committed to advancing Rise's mission through advocacy, volunteering, and other contributions. And today, that honor goes to the Savoy-Pitfield family. For the Savoy-Pitfields, including Chip Pitfield, Michelle Savoy, and their sons, Kiefer, Ward, and Eric. Giving back is a family affair. I find that really inspiring. In 2022, they established the Marshall-Pitfield Youth Loan Fund in memory of their son and stepson and brother, Marshall Pitfield, who passed suddenly in 2021 at the age of 31. The fund has raised nearly $250,000, and this is just one of the ways that the Savoy-Pitfields champion Rise's work. Chip also serves as a volunteer mentor, and Kiefer and his wife, Lindsay, are co-chairs of an upcoming Rise fundraising event. Today, we're going to honor their collective commitment to mental health advocacy, to Rise, and to its many clients. So please join me in congratulating the Savoy-Pitfield family, recipient of the 2024 Dave Richardson Champion Award. And we're pleased to have Chip here today to speak on the family's behalf.
Thank you very much, everybody. That's very kind.
Thank you, Chip. Congratulations to your family.
Thank you.
I want to invite the award recipients to join me for a special discussion. We're going to explore their businesses, their exceptional resilience, strength, determination that they embody. You're going to hear more about their families. I'm going to ask some questions. We're going to alternate between each of the panelists. And if anyone in the audience has a question, you can send it via the chat. There is somebody moderating that, so we'll get to those at the end of our panel. We are going to keep some time at the end so we can ask as many questions as possible. So Rick, Monsieur Poop Valet, I'm going to start with you. For you, founding Poop Valet was a way back into the workforce. Oh, I'm so sorry. You know what? I think my dog knows that you are there. I think he senses some sort of kinship, and he has decided to say hello of all the times. Anyhow, we will carry on. For you, Rick, founding Poop Valet was a way back into the workforce. As we mentioned, for a decade you had been out, you'd struggled with mental health challenges. If you can tell us about that time for you and about how founding Poop Valet brought you out of that time and overcome some of the challenges that you faced.
Ooh, lots of questions. Okay, went to school for psychology and sociology at Laurier. You know, had a career in social services for a number of years. Couldn't really keep a job more than 4 or 5 years. So I lost confidence every time I had a job. Just didn't think I was doing well, and you know, got in my own head. Ended up on disability, Canada Pension Plan disability for just horrible depression, anxiety. I was hospitalized 13 times for mental health, a few suicide attempts, and we were at my brother-in-law's farm, bunch of dogs running around as we were having a campfire, and the dogs you know, doing their thing, what they do. And my brother-in-law says to me, if only there was a business that could go around and pick this up for me. And it just got the wheels turning. And 6 months later started what was supposed to be a part-time venture, a couple mornings a week, just to get me off the couch and see if I was any good for entrepreneurship. The damn thing exploded. 4 months later, you know, it was a full-time venture. I brought my wife on to help me figure it all out. But what it's done for me is it's given me all kinds of confidence. I'm able to, you know, speak publicly now. I can, you know, become a champion of mental health, and yeah, it's done so much for me.
For those of us who are familiar with the Rise and the Awards events, they can be emotional sometimes because and that is welcome and okay, because it is emotional to think back on that part of your journey and also where you are today. And I think it shows incredible heart. Rick, can I ask you about, so you have this idea, you find success in this idea. Can I ask where Rise intersected that journey for you and the difference that it made?
Yeah, before I started the Poop Valet, I went through the entrepreneurial PSP program, you know, with a lot of pure work, and you know, we built a business plan, and you know, the Rise instructors said, you know, I think you can do this. I think you can be an entrepreneur. I think you can step outside of yourself. And you know, so that, you know, $300 grant at the time, and then ongoing support afterwards, and then the community opened up where Rise recipients can, you know, join in. It's just, the whole thing is just given me so much confidence and allowed me to, you know, step out of my shell.
Thank you, Rick. Emily, I want to bring you into this discussion. We outlined a little bit of your story in your introduction, some of the obstacles that you face. Can you go into that time for us a little bit more about, your hopes of, you're entering this new relationship, you're going to be a newlywed, and then this accident comes along and changes your role in your family completely?
Yeah. Hopefully I'll be able to answer that question. It's always been a bit of a hard topic to talk about. But in 2017, as mentioned, my husband was a truck driver and was coming home from about 6 or 7 hours away. He was driving on a 2-lane highway when a lady in the oncoming lane was distracted driving and came across the center line, sideswiped a pickup truck that was in front of him. And his truck just went over and through her car, unfortunately. He was, knock on wood, okay, he got to walk away. But it's not that any of it could come in good timing, but I was walking into one of my last midwife appointments with our first son when I got his call. Thankfully, I got to see him the next morning. It took them a long time to release the scene, to release him, to release his truck, all that sort of stuff, and get it all towed home, all that sort of stuff. Anyways, he ended up with some physical injuries, a minor traumatic brain injury from hitting his head on the windshield, which changed our outlook. I imagined myself being a stay-at-home mom or going back to work part-time and watching the kids. He was working 60 to 70 hours a week before that, so I would have had to be a stay-at-home mom without being a stay-at-home mom, sort of thing. So it's in a way a blessing in disguise that he got to be around to raise his kids, to watch them grow up. It's never a situation anyone thinks or plans that they will be in. But coming out of it and his limitations for working in the future brought me to entrepreneurship. It gives me the flexibility to make the decisions I want to make in my life. If I have to take him or my kids to doctor's appointments, to whatever, I can make those decisions. I can get another employee to cover the business, so I can do that, so I can be with my kids when I need to be. It gives us the opportunity to make more out of our lives than going to a 9-to-5 job, making a set amount and always struggling to get above and beyond that. It's opened up so many doors, so many new people that I know, so many opportunities within my community, within the Rise community, to just grow. And it's been a tough road, of course, but it's been the best decision I've made.
Emily, thank you for that. And I want to thank you for sharing your story too, because that's always a choice. So thank you for trusting this group, even though it's a virtual setting, with your story, with the personal side of your story. And we got you. Thank you for sharing that today. And also how entrepreneurship has allowed you to not only be a mom, a caregiver, but a support to your family and to your community, which we're going to hear about a little bit later. So Emily, thank you for that.
Thank you.
I'm going to bring Melissa into our conversation now. Melissa, you have said before you always expected to be an entrepreneur. I would love to talk to your elementary school teachers because I bet they've got stories about you. Earlier this year, you launched Montego Brown Hair Care. Tell us more about what inspired you to start this business and how being an entrepreneur, running your own business your own way, has helped you.
Sure. So Montego Brown was inspired by my own research that I was doing over the past few years. I was finding it difficult to find affordable and healthy hair care products for myself. So when I did find hair care products that were made from my hair texture, most of the brands were from the States. So I would end up ordering from them and having to pay all these high shipping fees and currency conversion rates. And it was just, it was frustrating. It was frustrating. Doing research, I didn't really find a lot of Canada or Canadian-based businesses that made hair care products. So that's when the light went off in my head. And I'm like, okay, maybe there's something that I can do here. And so that's what I did. I did a lot of research. I saw that there is a huge gap and a huge need for more not just hair care products made for my hair type and for curly hair textures, but also made with safe ingredients, chemical free, made with natural and vegan organic ingredients. So yeah, that's what happened. That's how it kind of stemmed it from my own frustration. I decided to take the risk and to create the hair care line.
This is what I love about entrepreneurs, no matter what country you're from or what walk of life you're from, it's a need or a frustration or just seeing a space that motivates them to act. And Rick was telling his story about sitting around with his brother-in-law and seeing all the poop, and his brother-in-law says, yeah, somebody should have a business, but it's the entrepreneurs are like me. I'm going to be the business. I'm going to do the thing.
That's right.
And we don't get to do that without some help and some really good mentoring along the way. So at that point, I want to bring in now our volunteers, Prince and Chip. And Prince, I'm going to talk to you first. You have spent a lot of time in the entrepreneurial space. You've provided mentorship and advice to small business owners throughout your career. So tell us why you volunteer with Rise and, in your words, the importance of mentorship in an entrepreneur's journey.
Great question. And Rick, Emily, and Melissa are prime examples of why I volunteer at Rise. Such inspirational stories and getting to meet people in situations where sometimes, entrepreneurship is their end game. That's where they need to go in order for them to really fulfill a quest or something to have in terms of a need in their life. Other times it's out of, uncertainty and things happen in life. So, kudos to the entrepreneurs that have won the award. And for me, I volunteer with Rise because I get why our mission is so important as an organization. As humans, we face barriers every day, right? Regardless of if it's, mental health barriers, physical barriers. And a lot of people look for guidance and support. And most times it's very challenging for them to find any sort of a mentor or support system that can actually listen, reflect, and really give them that real life advice that a mentee can really then take back and use and really feel empowered, like, yes, this person did make a difference in my life. So this year I've really dedicated myself and prided myself on someone who's going to be giving, caring, and really wants to see the best for the people around me. And going through my own mental health challenges over the last 12 years, from severe depression, having anxiety, going to become pretty much psychotic at one point. Obviously not diagnosed, but obviously there was a lot of things around me that I could tell that, I'm not myself. I really wanted to make a difference. And I knew Rise had a program where I could actually provide value because of my background and my expertise in entrepreneurship. And I said, maybe there's an opportunity for me to work with individuals in this program that actually need that support. And, it's an area that I absolutely love. And I'm really enjoying being a part of the community and knowing that I can help others the same way that, people have helped me in my life in terms of overcoming challenges that I have faced. Oh, sorry, Anne-Marie, you're on mute.
You're on mute.
You'd think after 4 years of doing this. I just wanted to encourage everybody, Prince, after you shared what you just did, if there is anybody who is watching this, just learning about Rise for the first time, or have been thinking about, like Prince, who set out a goal, said, I'm going to help as many people as possible. If you've been sitting with a skill set and wondering, I'd love to be able to help, I know Rise would love your help. So after this award ceremony, if you want to get in touch with them, I know they would probably really love to hear from you. But Prince's experience, let it encourage you and inspire you as well. Chip, you have been a fierce advocate for mental health for many years. Can you share with everybody today why mental health, first of all, is so important to you? And what about Rise speaks to you and your family?
How much time have you got? We started wrestling with mental health with one of our kids perhaps 15 years ago. And through that process, I ended up as chair of a child and youth mental health service in Toronto, which ultimately grew to become, I think, the largest agency in Toronto. And at the time, I thought that, gosh, I'm really making a contribution and I'm going to make the mental health space better. The truth is that after 10 or 12 years, I don't think I've made it any better at all, because government is effectively dysfunctional, not that much interested in child and youth mental health. The gap as kids graduate from the youth mental health side to the adult mental health side, that gap is about 14 miles wide, and it's very, very tough to navigate. So as a family, we did the best we could to support our son, who had ebbs and flows, and at times was doing wonderfully well and other times was not doing wonderfully well. And he ultimately chose to end his life in late 2021, exactly 3 years ago, a couple of days ago. And I think he was the most courageous guy on earth. Sorry. Anyway, so we get through that, and the love of my life, Michelle Savoy, who really should be doing this call, her brother was on the Rise board, and you've heard from him. And Beth Day is a lifelong family friend, so we're surrounded by these Rise people. And the truth is, I don't exactly recall how we got involved, but I think we knew it was extremely important. And it was an opportunity to make a difference right at ground level. Instead of giving money to sick kids or KMH, Rise lets you actually make a difference in people's lives. And that was enormously important to all of us. So here we are.
Chip, thank you, first of all, for sharing not only the personal reasons why you chose to be involved, but also how your perspective on how Rise lands in that space and in that 14-mile gap that you talk about. And having lived and walked some of that gap, you describe it really well. I want to focus our conversation now on community and on giving back, jumping off our volunteers. Rick, we'll start again with you. The Poop Valet is a socially conscious business. It regularly gives to charity. It offers discounted services for community members in need. So not only are you providing a service, but you're also providing community need as well. Tell us why that was important to you as a small business owner, and how the community that you found with Rise helped to shape some of your business approach in terms of giving back, not just serving your community, but also giving back.
Well, my wife Sherry and I both went to school for psychology and sociology and communications, and always worked in social service type jobs and really believed in community service. We've always volunteered with stuff, but when the mental health got out of hand for me, 15 years ago or so, I always thought, if there's some way I can give back to this community, I'm going to try. And when we started the business, and partway through, got talking to Sherry and said, what can we do? And we decided we were going to give back to not only dog charities, but charities that involve mental health in some way. I volunteered for a service dog organization called NSD, National Service Dogs, and raised a couple of puppies to become service dogs, and really enjoyed that. And then a friend of mine approached me and said, hey, I'm starting this service dog organization myself in Bradshaw, Ontario, half an hour north, 20 minutes north of us. And she said, it's going to be for psychiatric service dogs, so people with mental health. And she said, if you're ever interested in volunteering or helping out in any way, let me know. And when we started this business, shortly after we started, I said, that's the company. That's the one that we're going to support. And we've been making, fairly generous quarterly donations to help them. And they've, in their first couple of years, they've raised quite a few service dogs already. And they've been a big hit with people in the psychiatric community. And I couldn't be prouder to be part of helping out that organization, because it feels like I'm helping out myself in a way.
Oh, I love that. And Rick, can you talk to us briefly about how the help that you receive with Rise, the mentorship and the training, and the fact that somebody reached out a hand to you? Maybe if I don't think I'm not connecting dots by saying I think that's probably also part of why you reach back out and help other people.
Yeah. I believe in giving back, and especially if somebody helps me, I'll help them for sure, And when I found out about Rise and what the organization does, I decided that I was going to join in and take programs and participate. And then I thought, if there's any way that I can give back to Rise, I will. And so far I've been blessed, with what Rise has done for me. And I enjoy, reading through the community. And I don't post as much as I should, but I really enjoy reading, what people are going through and the answers that other community members give back, and, sharing tips, ideas, and sometimes just giving a pat on the back and saying, you can do this. And, you don't have to be the one that started that thread in the community for it to be a big boon to you. So I, absolutely love everything that Rise has done for me. And yeah.
Thanks, Rick.
Sorry.
No need to be sorry. Emily, I want to address you next. You shared that it was seeing the need in your community. That's what motivated you to start Meadow, Baby and Kids. So what was the need that you found? And then, so how did you know, what was the need, and how did you know that this was the right business for your community, that you could do it? And how did Rise sort of help you fulfill that?
Yeah, I moved to the community of Prince Edward County in 2021 with my husband and two young boys that are now 4 and 7. We came from the Niagara area, and although we knew that we wanted a small town and what that could offer to us, I don't think we quite realized some of the limitations that it had. Since we moved in the middle of COVID, there were still a lot of restrictions, one of them being that kids' items and clothing were still non-essential at times, and the only options we have in our area is a giant tiger. That's really all that's here. And needless to say, the only boys sizes that I could ever find seemed to be size 2 or size 14, 16. And of course, my boys were always right in the middle.
Listen, at 4 and 7, they're going through stuff fast.
Yeah. As such, the next place to buy kids' items were either Belleville or Trenton, which are 45 minutes drive from us. And they were only brand name stores as well, like Gap, Carter's, Oshkosh. And with myself being very cheap and having 2 boys, I can't and couldn't bring myself to pay $25 for a t-shirt that they'll destroy in 5 minutes. So I started looking into why there wasn't a store here that provided kids specific items. And after joining into the mom and parent community through my kids, I heard all of the same struggles with almost everyone that I know. And although there are a lot of grandparents in our area, there are also a lot of low income families that don't have the option to drive 45 minutes to get things, let alone pay a taxi to do that for them once a month. And then my Rise journey started and things took off. There was a hole in the market here. And between the support from Rise, my husband, from my mentor Gerson at the time, which I think is in this chat, so hi. My husband and just the drive to do better for myself and my kids and the community, the store came to life. And it really is a community store. I'm not here to make millions, although that would be nice some days. We're here to support the community, and that's all I could ask.
What kind of feedback have you had, Emily, from people in the community? I imagine that people walk through the door like, thank God you're here.
Yeah, I get that comment at least once a week, from grandparents to single moms, everything that you could imagine, families that are doing well, that aren't doing well. Everyone's just happy that there's some option in this small town. Our town only has 4,000 people in it. And when I was doing my research, about 60% of that were families under the age of 30. And there's just a need, and people don't want or have the ability to go and pay full price for things. And why should they? I mean, there's 2 thrift shops in our town that also have kids items, but it's not the best quality. You can never find what you need, all that sort of stuff. So we carry everything from socks and underwear to snow pants and snow boots to ice skates for kids that are all at a massive fraction of retail cost. And it is such a relief with the ever rising cost of inflation, with rent and food costs, everything that families have to go through now, for them to not have to worry about putting clothes on their kids' back.
Yeah, absolutely. Emily, there's going to be people on this call who might not understand how Rise can help an entrepreneur like you. So can you describe for me a little bit about how you reached out, what those connections look like, and then how they helped you to get Meadow Baby and Kids up and running?
Yeah, of course. When I started this thought or this journey, I was working a 9-to-5 job at a physiotherapy office in our town here. And I had talked to a lot of people who said the same thing, but no one had ever jumped into that realm of actually making it possible. And being an ambitious person that I am, I've worked hard for everything I have in my life. Nothing has ever come easy. And I knew that I could do it. It's hard. There's so much stress involved, let alone personal life and business obligations, all that sort of stuff. But I know that I was able to do it. So I started looking, and I found the Rise program. I did their, I believe it was an 8-week, possibly 12-week course, where I was able to develop a business plan, figure out cash flows. Will this work? How much money do I need for this to work? What about funding if I can't fund it myself? All of those questions that come up when you're starting a business. This isn't and wasn't a home-based business where I was making things I could sort of take it easy. There was a big jump right at that beginning of cost of getting fixtures, doing renovations, all that sort of stuff. And it at times was very disheartening to have all that pile and pile and pile. That without the Rise program that I was in and having those weekly classes to help to build a full business plan that I could approach banks or funding avenues with to ease some of that burden, the support that I got from Rise was invaluable. It was what every week said, you know what, this is hard and it's hard for everyone, but you can do it. Here are the steps to be able to do it. Let me connect you with this person who could help you with this. With my mentor, Gerson, he literally said, call me, email me anytime. Doesn't matter. I might be busy that day, but I will get back to you as soon as I possibly can. And I'll answer every question in the world you have. And I used it. Of course I did. He has been great personally with business. I wouldn't have been able to keep on the journey that I'm on without his help.
Thanks, Emily. Melissa, Montego Brown Hair Care, you already mentioned, jumped into this space because you couldn't find anything that was Canadian and that contained what you want and what you didn't want it to contain. Can you talk to us here about how working with Rise impacted your approach to business? Because I imagine it would have been hard not only to find a comparable business, but also to find a mentorship and training program specifically for what you were trying to do.
Yes, Rise, I absolutely loved the program. I did the PSP program, and aside from the program giving me peer support and entrepreneurial training at no cost, which was great. I think the most valuable thing I got out of it was confidence. At the time, I really didn't know if I should do this. I was second guessing a lot and had a lot of doubt. And so week by week, I just gained so much knowledge, practical skills, resources that just gave me the confidence I needed to push through. So it's been amazing. I also was able to be a part of a community where I've met some great people, and some of the peers through the program I actually collaborate with, and we've kept in contact. So that's great. Yeah, it's been amazing. The program has been amazing for me, for sure. And it's also, I would say, what I learned from it, it kind of help build a foundation for my business, a strong foundation actually. And so with that, I'm able to have the business that I have today. So it's great.
Thanks, Melissa. Prince, you've mentored students and entrepreneurs over the years, but how does mental health factor into your role as a RISE mentor?
Great question. And I take a mental health first approach with anything I do. Even with my students, extensions, listening to their needs, being a mentor and RISE no different. It's the main key in mentorship is listening, because mental health can have so many symptoms, and most of them are really undiagnosed. And there are trigger warnings at times where someone can really become disengaged with life and reality. And unfortunately, you have to be very mindful of everyone's specific situation and make sure you're accountable to their needs and their emotions at that time. So as a mentor myself, I think the best skill to really have is adaptability in situations, and not to criticize anyone for being different or just disengaging because they have to, but rather listen to their situation, provide them advice and guidance, and just be respectful of their beliefs and faith and circumstances. Because like I said, everyone comes into entrepreneurship or even as a student from a different lens, right? And you just have to be very open to that. And mental health is a real challenge. And as humans, we see it happening every day in terms of all the problems that, people go through. So as a mentor who's gone through it personally and really understands the problems with being able to engage with life at times, I want to ensure that others who are facing similar barriers can find that same level of support and guidance if they need it. So that's what I do. And this mantra is that I want to leave you off with is do what you love, but love what you do. And entrepreneurship and advising is exactly where I kind of fit in.
Prince, thank you. Chip, the Marshall-Pitfield Youth Loan Fund specifically supports young people who are aged 16 to 34 with loans to help them start their businesses. Why did you specifically pick that demographic?
I'm not sure I can remember. But I think, to be fair, because that was Marsh's demographic, and that was the demographic during which Marsh had struggled so much. And the reality is, if you can help somebody when they're 25 instead of when they're 45, it makes a huge difference in their life. So I kind of think it was a no-brainer, but I'm saying that in retrospect because I can't remember.
And what is it that you like, Chip, from what you've seen that RISE has done, of the work they've done, of the help that they offer, who they help?
Well, I think there's a couple of things. Number one, RISE has a remarkable process for filtering potential applicants and prospective RISE supportees, such that those that are accepted have a very high probability of success. So I think that's wonderful. I think it's not an overnight program. I like the idea that RISE prepares people for entrepreneurship over several months, not a few days. I think that's hugely important. I myself might be probably the least important mentor in the system. I think RISE cheated and assigned me to somebody that really didn't need much help, which was, I thought that was a little slippery. But it's been wonderful, and I've enjoyed it enormously. And so as a consequence, I'm proud of every aspect of this organization. It's quite fantastic.
Thank you, Chip. We're coming up to 2 o'clock, and it is important to us to be able to be respectful of everybody's time and to end on time. So I'm going to ask each of our award recipients to be thinking about their answer to this question. This is for Rick and for Emily and Melissa. What does it mean to you to receive this award today? And Rick, we will start with you.
Well, you didn't give me time to think about it.
I don't think you need much time. I feel like you're fast on your feet.
This award is incredible, and it's not just for me, it's for my wife Sherry, who helps keep me on my feet some days. My son-in-law Dylan works with us, and it's been incredible in helping our business grow. We have a technician, Tyler, that recently joined us, works 3 or 4 days a week, and it's been great. So winning this award isn't for me, it's for all of us. And we're going to take the money that comes from it, and we're going to be going hard on a marketing campaign to keep things going through the winter and grow through the spring, which will be, well, business will really be picking up then. So thank you.
If anecdotally, if it's anything like your backyard, you know what happens when all the snow melts, you see everything that needs to be cleaned up.
Yes, except in my yard, I don't bring my work home with me.
Rick, thank you and congratulations again. Emily, how about you? What does this award mean to you today?
Yeah, this award means the world to me. Personally, it's been a struggle. Everyone has their own struggles, so it's nice to get acknowledgement in a way that what you're doing well, that there's always people out there listening, there's always people out there to help you, that regardless of what background you come from, what struggles you've had or you haven't had, the amount of people that have stood in front of you and said, no, you can't do this, or no, I don't believe in you for various reasons, is that if you have enough perseverance or resilience, that it doesn't matter what anyone thinks, you just got to keep pushing and pushing and pushing. And one day, whether it's a couple weeks down the road, a couple months, someone will lend that hand to give you that step up, to help you believe in what you want to do, and that what you do as a person, as a business owner, means something. And to be recognized for that means the absolute world.
Emily, I want to thank you again for sharing your story and sharing it so vulnerably. I can see why you won the Resilience Award. Your strength of spirit comes shining through all the way through Zoom from Picton, Ontario. So congratulations again.
Thank you.
And Melissa, we'll end off with you. What does it mean to you to receive this award today?
I'm so excited, just like Emily and Rick. It means the world to me. I think that, with perseverance and passion, it'll eventually pay off. That's how I feel about winning this award, and the acknowledgement is amazing. And I feel like winning this award definitely motivates me to continue building something for my community, and to also inspire other people to go after their dreams and as well, and just to keep pushing forward even when things are difficult. It's just amazing. I'm really excited.
Well, congratulations. I can see you're excited. Congratulations to each of our award recipients. We're incredibly proud of you, not only for the award, but for all the work that you've done to get here. So congratulations, and thank you all for sharing your stories with us today. We do not have time to take questions from the audience, but we will make ourselves available if you want to reach out to any of the panelists. I encourage you to visit risehelps.ca, and you'll find profiles about each of the recipients, and you'll also get links to their websites, which I encourage you to check out, but also please email them, contact them directly. I also want to echo what Philippe had to say, which is it's Giving Tuesday, and your gift to Rise is going to be doubled in the holiday season. So make use of that for sure. We live in really difficult times. There's a lot of stressful, negative news. This event and its joy is a welcome reprieve from that. It is also a way, I always say about, people will say to me all the time, because I work in news, I don't like to watch the news, it's too negative. And I would say to you, you know how you fight back on that? You donate and you give back. And Rise Helps is a really great place to do that. By donating to Rise, you contribute to good news, which we like, and great stories of innovation, perseverance, resilience, all of which you've heard here today. I want to thank Prince for the work that he does, and through using your example, your lived example of working with mental health and of giving back. And to Chip for sharing your story. I'm sorry for your personal loss, and I am inspired by how you choose to give in memory. I want to thank everybody for joining us to celebrate our award recipients today, Rick, Emily, Melissa, Prince, the Savoy-Pitfield family, and the hundreds of other inspiring clients and volunteers who make RISE work each and every single day. You are the community that allows RISE to flourish and to help so many people. This is your organization, and it wouldn't happen without you. So thank you, everybody. Aaron and the rest of the team, thank you so much for having me back, and we will see you again next year. Happy holidays, everybody.